One day after resigning from the office and the rights of cardinals, Cardinal Angelo Becciu denies any wrongdoing and says he has a clean conscience. Speaking to journalists today in Rome, Cardinal Becciu called his downfall, quote, surreal. The former number 2 ranking official in the Vatican Secretariat of State has been connected to an ongoing investigation of financial impropriety at the Secretariat. Joining me now for more on this story is Edward Condon, D.C. Bureau Chief for Catholic News Agency and a canon lawyer. Ed, thanks for coming on. Great to see you. So Cardinal Becciu says that Pope Francis asked him to step down, saying he no longer had confidence in him. What led to this, and what do we know about his management of the Vatican's finances?
Well, we don't know officially why he was asked to step down by Pope Francis. There was no official comment released by the Vatican when they announced the resignation. But it seems fairly clear to everyone, I think, that this is linked to the ongoing series of Vatican financial scandals, which Cardinal Becciu has found himself at the center of. I think at this point it's fair to say that those two things are not just plausibly linked, but almost certainly cause and effect.
I know that Cardinal George Pell also weighed in on these developments. Do we know what he had to say?
Yes, Cardinal Pell offered his thanks and congratulations to Pope Francis on hearing the news of Cardinal Becciu's resignation. He and Cardinal Becciu had, I think it'd be fair to say, a sometimes difficult working relationship when Cardinal Pell was in charge of reforming the Vatican finances, and then Archbishop Becciu was the number 2 at the Secretariat of State. They clashed over things like an audit of Vatican finances, the ways in which accounts were kept, and budget sheets were presented for in-house accounting, things like that. Cardinal Pell said that Pope Francis has played a long game, he called it, on cleaning up curial finances, and he offered the Pope his encouragement and said he'd hope that this will continue.
Ed, can you explain to us what it means for Cardinal Becciu to have resigned from the rights extended to members of the College of Cardinals, and what exactly that covers?
Well, it's a very unusual move. It's only happened, so far as I'm aware, on one other occasion. Cardinal Keith O'Brien of Edinburgh resigned the rights of a cardinal some years ago following accusations of sexual misconduct. But it means that Cardinal Becciu keeps the red hat, he keeps the title His Eminence, but he loses all of the privileges associated with that office. Some of these are sacramental and liturgical, the ways and times in which he can say Mass and some of the other sacraments. Most powerfully, and the one perhaps best known, is the right to participate in a conclave to elect a pope. But I think also crucially, in canon law, cardinals have the right to be tried and judged by the Pope alone in cases where they may face trial. And of course, Cardinal Becciu has now waived that right, or resigned it, paving the way for him to face possible charges in a Vatican City-State tribunal.
Ed, has there been any other further word from the Vatican about the situation?
No, the Vatican haven't released any further details. I think that's the sort of thing that's going to be a case of wait and see. We know that the investigation into various overlapping financial scandals which have touched Cardinal Becciu in recent years have been ongoing. We've seen periodic updates from Vatican prosecutors and investigators. We've heard notice of different people in different offices around the Curia being raided, suspended, interrogated, and we've really seen a progression of these events moving, if you like, up the food chain in Becciu's old department. So I think this is perhaps not the end of a process, but the beginning of the opening of a new stage in these inquiries.
Ed, thanks so much for coming on and talking with us about it. We really appreciate it. Edward Condon, D.C. Bureau Chief for Catholic News Agency. Thanks again, Ed.
Always a pleasure.